But we'll proceed with our defense case, and I'll have a chance to read
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah, but if you want to present that and tell me what pages you're relying on, I would appreciate that.
May I approach the court?
You may,
Okay,
yes, yeah. You can give that to the clerk of the court, and then just tell me what pages. And
Well, I just want to note that I think that's my copy now. I was hoping to get that. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry.
All right, and just for the record, I have a document under this case number, transcript of proceedings, November 10th, 2016 AM session. And so you're referring to what?
The United States is going to be referring to first page 63, lines 13 to 16.
63. And then the lines again?
There's a question on lines 13 to 16.
Okay.
And then the others, the state will just give you the pages. The others are from page 68 through the top of page 72.
Do you have a line reference on 68 and then the end on 72?
68, some of the line references I have.
Just tell me where it begins.
Beginning from lines 14, lines 10 through 25.
Okay, that would be the bottom of the page, and then
That's correct.
and 69, 70, 71, and then 72 ends.
Right, 69 again would be.
Oh, I see. Okay, hold on there. Okay, 69. What lines?
Actually, Your Honor, the entire page, because there's some lines that are not relevant, but they're just one line.
All right.
And then page 70. Would be the whole page, Your Honor. And in page 71, the state looked at lines 17 through 25. And the top of page, it finishes at the top of page 72, lines 1 through 3.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And then, Mr. Upward, you have your hard copy documents. And those have been marked by identification purposes. That, you have one photo and all right. So
I believe the photo was already listed as Exhibit G. Good.
that's the G that I have is Scout Forerunner front view.
Correct.
That's okay. All right. And then
did I think I anticipated.
I said Scout. I meant Scott Forerunner front view. Sorry.
That's what I heard, sorry. And then did our exhibit list, I'm looking at an outdated one, I meant to contemplate putting phone records on there.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
one? S?
Yes. Phone record.
And so that would be S as in singer.
Yeah.
No, it says phone record. So is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Your Honor, perhaps since Mr. Nardi has the floor, if I didn't quite understand what the offer of proof was when Mr. Poe was mentioning it. I know he was speaking with Mr. Nardi. If Mr. Nardi can explain that a little more, what the offer of proof is with respect to what they marked as defense exhibit S.
Ms. Phaedra Weiss had given testimony regarding times in which she made certain phone calls and her ability to make phone calls on the 13th, which is the day they allegedly discovered the clothing. This is her phone records, which she testified to having a 5003 number, and they are from the voice calls on the 13th.
All right, thank you. Then are we ready for the jury?
Well, I think
in terms of that intent, Your Honor, I don't mind taking care of the Tachibana if it facilitates things right now, because as far as I can tell, we're just going to be introducing and then asking them to leave for Tachibana anyway. So I'll defer to the court.
All right. As long as you're okay with that, I'm all right with that.
Does that sound right?
Okay, any problem with that, Mr. Rivera?
To take care of it right now, Your Honor? No.
Right, okay, all right. And that's what I'll do. So, may I at this time address Mr. Capobianco?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good
Maybe
morning.
if I can have him out front and sign to the court. Can come from there.
Good morning, Mr. Capobianco.
Good morning.
All right. Your attorneys have mentioned that what they intend to do this morning is to introduce two exhibits, a photograph, and that's a defendant's exhibit G, and then a phone record, this defendant's exhibit S. And then at that point, the intention is to rest, and then there's to call no further witnesses in defendant's case in chief. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. By the way, are you in agreement with that?
Yes.
As you might recall, at the beginning of the trial, I asked you some questions concerning your right to testify during the trial, as well as your right to remain silent during the trial. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And at the time, I indicated to you that near the end of the trial, I would be asking you questions again about that same subject. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And so we're now at that stage of the proceedings where I'll be asking you questions about that. So if you don't understand any of my questions, please let me know, all right?
Okay.
And please understand that in asking you these questions, I am not attempting to influence your decision one way or the other. What I need to do is to just determine whether you understand what your rights are, number one, as it relates to testifying or remaining silent. Number two, that whatever decision you make is in fact your decision. And that it's a decision you've made freely and voluntarily. All right?
Okay.
All right, so as I discussed with you before the start of the trial, you have a constitutional right to testify in your own defense during this trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Although you should consult with your attorneys regarding the decision to testify, it is your decision. And no one can prevent you from testifying should you choose to do so. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you decide to testify, the prosecutor, that would either be Mr. Rivera or Ms. Jones, will be allowed to cross-examine you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You also have a constitutional right not to testify and to remain silent during this trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you choose not to testify, the jury will be instructed that the jury cannot hold your silence against you in deciding your case. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, Have you made your decision concerning what you would like to do during this trial? That is, in terms of testifying or not testifying. Have you made a decision on that?
Yes,
What is your decision?
I choose not to testify.
Have you made this decision with an understanding of your rights?
Yes,
And do you understand the rights that I've just discussed with you today as well as what we discussed previously?
yes,
Is this decision your decision?
absolutely.
Is, is this a decision you have made freely and voluntarily?
Yes,
Do you, have you understood everything we've just talked about today?
yes,
Do you have any questions about it?
no,
And so what would happen is we're going to have these exhibits admitted, and then either Mr. Opo or Mr. Nari will be informing the jury that the defense is resting, in other words, concluding its presentation of evidence, and then we'll move on to the next phase of the trial, which may involve rebuttal evidence, meaning that you will not be testifying. You understand all of that?
yes,
All right. And you're in agreement with all that?
yes,
Okay, and you're certain of this decision?
yes.
All right, very good. Thank you very much for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
May I address one nuance relative to what the process that we're about to embark on? Substantively speaking, I stand by my representation that we plan on introducing these two exhibits and Mr. Capobianco not taking the stand. I have to apologize in that in discussing what's going on with co-counsel a little earlier, it appears to us that we should not technically rest our case until we get a ruling on this motion relative to the state's request to bring in DNA evidence. The idea there being that, depending on the court's ruling, we may want to bring in experts, or have to re-engage our experts and arrange to bring them back in our case, rather than wait for a rebuttal opportunity based on what the state is proposing to present at this point. And so I just want to present that nuance that technically we don't want to rest until that motion is disposed of.
All right. Well, I guess, meaning presumably that if that's the way we're going to unfold, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to rule on this, but then you, rather than presenting sort of rebuttal, you'd be presenting this in your case in chief.
Knowing what the state now plans to present, it seems like it's our duty to present it in our case in chief, now that we know that we have to anticipate it.
All right, I just want to clarify that, that's all. All right, then I need to look at the portions of the transcript that the prosecution relies on, and conclude the hearing on the request to admit the DNA. All right. So we'll take a recess and we'll do that. All right, thank you.